Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Well, New Year, new me, New Year, same me. Tell you the way I see it. To me, it is a new year, but it's the same old me, just a little older, just a day older, just a year older. Depending on when you look at it. When beginning of the year, I'm only what, 11 days older than what I was the day before. Last year, supposed to be. So you know what? New me, same me. How do you feel about that? Are you guys make any resolutions for the year? If you do you really stick to them? I can tell you that I haven't made a New Year's resolution in years. For what? We don't really stick to them. I actually was talking to a guy the other day. Made a resolution not to drink. I was like, hey, good. What are the chances of it really not happening? Of actually really happening that you're not going to be drinking? Well, his reply to me was, I hope I can make it at least 3 months. So goes to tell me that these New Year's resolutions and all that other stuff is not garbage, but why have it? Why do it? Makes no sense to me. But needless to say, Happy New Year. It's Speaking It Real. I'm here. Carlos is still on his break. He was supposed to join me, but you know what? Goes into one thing, into another. Life is hectic for him right now. Hectic for me too, but we find ways. And hopefully we'll have him next week. And from there, we'll see where we have him. Until then, I'm going to try to go on it on my own like I did a couple years ago. Started my own. Didn't like it much, but I did it. Um, but we'll keep going. It is what it is. Guys, you know what? If you're listening to the show, either you're watching live, do me a favor. Throw a quick share of the show. You can follow us. I actually opened up a TikTok account. So we're on TikTok. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. We're obviously on YouTube, and we're even on Instagram. So you know what? Come follow us. You know, you can do it, Frank. You're never alone. What's up, Ovi? How you doing? Facebook user, I don't know who you are, but I know I'm not alone. It's when you're doing these shows on your own, it's kind of weird sometimes because you feel like you're not, you know. I know you follow me, Ovi. Feel like you're not listening, like people are not listening. Hector, fool. Oh, I'm sorry, Hector. You're on the group. You got to hit the accept button. There's something there you got to hit so it shows your name. So hey, look, it is what it is, man. Like I said, new year. But I'm gonna tell you what I've been thinking of and what's on my mind. Damar Hamlin. Yeah, that's his name. That's his name for sure. Ovi, let's see. Topics of the day, Ovi. I got Damar Hamlin. I got a high school quarterback by the name of Marcus Stokes. He had an issue at UF. Um, Brittney Griner on her release. I've had a lot of thoughts about that and wanted to talk about that. You know, and a shooting at a Virginia school where a 6-year-old shot a teacher. So let's see how it goes. What's good? Happy New Year's. Yes, Happy New Year's. So, hey, Ovi, if you want to jump along, let me know. I'll send you the link. You're more than welcome. But, anyways, well, here we go. So, I'm going to start off with Damar Hamlin. All right. We all know what happened with the guy. He had a heart attack on the field. Some people say it's all right. I'll send you the link right now. You know what? Let me send them the link, guys, and we're gonna actually get this going and see what him and Hector say because I'm pretty interested to know on other people's live thoughts because I like talking, but I don't like talking some topics by myself, and this is one of them where what do we think? Especially Ovi and Hector, they have their own topics, their own show, you know. And I think we started to talk about it on one of the shows, but we never really went a little further detail on it. So it's going to be interesting to see what they are. But my thoughts, just waiting on them, is well, there it is. I'll get you on here, Ovi. Hold on, let me try to figure this out.
All right, can you hear me?
Oh wait, I gotta put on my headphones, don't I? Hey man, listen, I was going at it on my own, so I'm able to forget about my headphones.
I like
Forget
your
about
setup, man. You can put us all like small windows, and he make himself all big. Like, yeah, you're the host of this show, man.
in your
Speaking of real.
window.
All right. So there we go. There we go. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
you talking about some Damar Hamlin, man? What's up, man? I know
All
you
right.
wanted us. You didn't want to feel lonely, so we're here for you.
Hey, you know what? I love it. I love it. I love not being lonely.
We
I was
noticed that your
Awesome.
jersey in the background is gone, so So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, he's also on my podcast called the HHW Show Podcast, which is the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. And he had his jersey in the background. And now that I mentioned, now he wants to pop it up. But we all know what number 34 really stands for. And that's what's going to happen this weekend when they face the Buffalo Bills. And that's the team that Damar Hamlin's in, number 3. So
yes.
I think
So
everyone knows the news about it where he collapsed in the middle of the field. So like me and Hector, we talked about it in our show on the All Four Downs podcast, and it's sentimental, it's sadness, and it comes to realization, like things can happen, you know. Just unfortunate that it happened on primetime television on Monday Night Football.
no, right. I mean, you know what? My biggest discussion on this is more of all right. we know the guy got hurt. We know it's a freak accident, stuff that we don't normally see these injuries. All right, but now as a football fan, right? Obviously, I was okay with the game not continuing that day. Okay, because you know what? Nobody knew where he was going. No one knew what was going to happen to him. So game didn't continue. A week later, they're like, no, we're going to cancel the game altogether. I think, my opinion as a football fan and watching how the playoffs are all panning out, they did way too much movement to have that game unplayed. That game should have continued. You know, it should have continued this week. You know, as opposed to having the playoffs, extend the season a week. You still have normally what 2-3 weeks before from the playoff to the Super Bowl. Cut that down because to go face a team, you don't need a month prep. You don't need 3 weeks prep. 1 week prep is good enough. That's my opinion on that topic. I think the game should have continued, not just cancel it out altogether.
Well, I guess at the moment of what had happened, we like, a lot of people were saying like, yeah, they've been through injuries before. People got hurt, broken legs, hips, whatever it is, and they're able to stretch them out. But I don't think the circumstances that they've never seen a real live CPR happening trying to save someone's life. And at that moment in time, it took them what was approximately 8, maybe 9 minutes altogether before they restored his breathing. And by the time they put him in the ambulance and everything else, and I mean, at that moment in time, we're not thinking about football anymore. We're talking about someone's life and your mentality and your background being military. We're trained to like something happens, we deal with the situation, and then we move forward, right?
Correct.
This is something different, and I think, in my opinion, I think they did the right thing. Stop the game, and it's more of like, look, that's another brother, and they're not dealt like we are dealt with. You know what I mean? And now we had that same conversation. I had the same conversation with Hector, and I explained to him so like they could have continued whatever, and he explained to me best. You know, no one's ever been in that situation before. Now could they have extended it another week? Absolutely. They could have replayed it the following week on a Monday Night Football and play. But everyone was concerned about, well, let it play out and stuff like that. And eventually, God willing, that it was a positive. Now today, as of today, he is out of the hospital, and he's on his own, and we're happy for him. And of course, he has to do a lot of appointments and everything else that he has to go through. And let's see if he's able to come back next season. But I'm glad that he's okay. But I think the NFL at a certain point handled it well, and then found its way back to the normal NFL. Like, well, now we're gonna fuck it up. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I completely agree there. I think that at the beginning stages they did handle it well.
Right. And then the scenario on this is, and this is what I was against, is at first they were just automatically going to reward the Bengals. Like, how could you automatically award a team a win and a loss when technically it wasn't even the full quarter? Now that's what I'm against. If they would have like restart the clock the following week or something like that, I could see that happening. And they got room for an extra week. Who cares about the Pro Bowl? I'm sorry, Hector. Go ahead.
Doesn't the NFL have a limit of statute limitation as far as how many quarters they play before it's actually considered a game, just like the baseball
just
does?
Like baseball?
Right. So,
right.
In my opinion, okay, I agree with both of what y'all saying. My thing is that throughout the days to come, when they found out, okay, they're giving us updates on how he's doing. If they're reporting things are going well, now I think that should have been easier for the NFL to make a decision. Hey, we can go ahead and play this game because now we know that this young man is getting better. He's on the right track. So that eases our mind to where we can continue the game. Now, look, I applaud the NFL because there's nothing in their rule book to say, what do we do now when a situation like this? it's unheard of, and I agree with it. But I also agree that as a fan, and not trying to sound selfish, if we knew that this young man was getting better, then we go play the game, because it was himself. It was DeMar Hamlin that when he was able to say something or respond, he asked who won. You see what I'm saying? So in his mind, as a football player, he thought this game was going on and he wants to know who won the game. So that tells me as a fan that even if this young man who's a football player, he still wanted this game to go on because he wanted to know who won the game. So that's
I'm willing to put out there that 90% of football players are always willing to finish the game, are always going to play through any adversity, or will want to play. You know, in most cases, I mean, I can understand a death in the middle of a game, no, or what happened, but in most cases, either they're trained that way. It's like, okay, who won? Okay, the game goes on, because that's what we've always done with football. And majority of these players have that instinct. No, the game has to go on. So the game should have gone on, not that day, but that game should have been finished, hands down. My opinion on that. But hey, it is what it is. The NFL made their choices, and you just gotta go forward.
Yeah.
Now, another thing off of this topic is, I saw a text. I can't say who to who, but that was, "Hey, this is why I don't want you playing football." And I had a screenshot of DeMar Hamlin.
Nah, that's messed up right there.
Okay. I saw it and I was like, interesting. Buddy, if that's what your people think about that, that doesn't normally happen. So a lot of people are actually up, not just that one individual, but I've heard it from other sources of, hey, football's dangerous. Yeah, we all know football's dangerous. But so you choose.
Any sport is dangerous.
Riding a bike is dangerous. Okay, I've seen people out here in Miami, people ride bikes all the time. It's not like up north or in Texas. Okay, maybe in Texas they ride a little more, but I know up north they probably don't ride too much because it's too cold. But out here in Miami, you're riding constantly on a bicycle, and there's plenty of times you see it in the news, bang, someone got hit. So
I mean, because you think about when NASCAR, when Dale Earnhardt died in the middle of the Daytona 500, the race kept on going. They didn't know whether or not he died at that moment, but the race kept on going. To say that football is dangerous, I get it, but any sport, like we were saying, you deal with horseback riding. Okay, it's dangerous. You get kicked off that horse, and that horse kicked you the wrong way, it could be the end of your life. Okay.
Yeah.
If you watch NHL, how many times have a skater got hit with the skate, of the opponent by accident, missing an artery in the neck, inches away of dying right there on the ice. It's just the risk that we take when we play sports,
Correct.
So do we stop our children from playing sports because of this? Or do we just teach them how to be more careful to the best of their ability, but go out there and have fun with the game?
You got to teach them. And it starts young. It starts young. I mean, because I started coaching tackle football back, about 8 years ago. And let me tell you, it was very differently taught 8 years ago than how it was taught when I played. All right, and I didn't play long, but it was very differently taught. Liz says teach them, absolutely, and she knows because she's been on the field. It's her boys live to play football. And it's about how you're taught. When I was taught, hey, here, head down. we obviously know now that's not the way to do it. When I started teaching this sport, I went through classes on the changes. It was all head up, head up, head up. We're not going to see those changes until a couple years from now. But anyways, going on to other things, I was bothered when I heard the news of this guy, Marcus Stokes, right? He's a high school quarterback. This guy right here,
Oh.
all right? He's a high school quarterback that had an offer to play at Gainesville, at UF.
University of Florida.
The University of Florida. The offer was taken off because he was on Instagram singing a song and he said the N word. Now, what's my issue here? Did he use it in a bad way? No. Why are you going to pull a scholarship off a kid, off an athlete, because he uses the N word in a song? In a song. It wasn't used like, hey, you N guy, He wasn't insulting anybody. So why pull it? I mean, you're talking about this kid. Let's see, what's he have here? He has offers from Florida, Penn State, Florida Atlantic, Georgia Southern, Georgia State. So he's a pretty high caliber quarterback. But
Oh, here's the deal: is that I think if they had a previous head coach there, it would have been a different circumstances. But you got a guy named Billy Napier, who is entering now his second year as a head coach of University of Florida. So there is a different culture that's happening in that school, and University of Florida is well known of a lot of trouble. Okay, a lot of disciplinary actions going on. They're very undisciplined. We've seen it at the time at the last few bowl games. I remember. I got to remember who was Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen was the head coach. And on the All Four Downs podcast, when we're covering college football, man, there have been many times that Joe Aguirre, who's also my co-host, used to ream on that coach because he always kept saying, man, this coach discipline is not the key. It's all about wins. It's all about cheating your way in and everything else. And you could probably relate Dan Mullen to like Urban Meyer, that type of culture, and the University of Florida fired Dan Mullen. And with him being in good standing, because being fired as a head coach, you get more richer. That's the culture in college football. And the fact that you got Billy Napier in, if I'm not mistaken, I know he was coaching in the South Sun Belt Conference. He comes over and now he's changing the culture. And that's something that he is not approval of. So when you say things like, oh, well, he said the N word and this and that, now there is a reputation, there's an appearance. You're going to get a scholarship from a school. You're now going to be, once you accept it, you represent that school, and then nowadays, anything that you do on social media, you just got to be careful. It doesn't matter if it's in football or any other type of jobs out there. Now you're scrutinized for any little thing you do on social media. And I hope that for that kid, that's a lesson learned, because nowadays these youngsters, they think that they could do whatever they want on social media and get away with it. So even if it's just that, I applaud the University of Florida. And if Billy Napier has anything to do with it, I applaud him too, because there's a standard that you got to hold.
Okay, but hold on. I agree with the standard that you got to hold. But we're talking about he was rapping to a song. The song is playing and he's singing to it. So it's not where he's coming out saying, hey, you're an F and N, so he's not calling you out. He's not insulting you. It's the song that's going along. So I mean, I get the culture. I get you want to have your kids right, but the gal's singing a song. All right. So It's on the radio. Obviously, the radio's not going to play the N word. They're going to take it out. So it's
Mhm.
all over the place. So again, it's why? You know, it's
So you're saying like it's okay for him to do that? Is what you're saying? That what he did was nothing wrong.
I don't see it wrong. I mean, if it's playing on the radio or if
Hmm.
it's playing, you know, it's
So
music that we
let me
all
ask you
hear.
this. Let me ask you this.
Uh-oh.
Picture yourself. You're a teenager. Your mom's right, right, and you listen to hip hop. Like for us in the '80s, we listen to hip hop. LL, you know, he's singing "I'm Bad" and he says the word "fuck" in there. Are you gonna say that too? You gonna say that word?
Yeah, sure.
Back then, NWA, biggest end dropping music ever, right? Probably in every song, every other word was the N word, right?
Correct.
You're gonna sing that in your house in front of your mom and dad. You're gonna do that?
Um,
It's a
prob-
song,
it's a song. Yeah, I mean,
so you're gonna say, "Hey, mom, dad, it's just a song. Don't worry about it." See, there you go. So my point is valid. Hector, come on, you chime in.
Yeah,
You're nice and
yeah,
quiet over there.
yeah. No, look, if okay, we know the whole thing with the N word is not right. You know, we could sit here and argue all day. It's not fair, you know, that the black community can do it, but no other community can do it. It's not right. Okay, you know, but here's my thing: if this young man was going to do it in the privacy of your own home to where nobody hears you. He was wrong for actually airing it out there for the world for him to hear him say it. And I think that's where he was wrong. I
Hmm.
mean, overall, it is wrong, period. But for him at that moment to air it was wrong. And I think his scholarship should have been pulled because, look, there's no need for that in that university or any university. Okay. Because if he can actually publicly announce it to the world that, hey, this is what I'm singing, then what else can he do that, you know, could be dangerous, you know, later on? I think the N word should not be used by anybody. I don't care who you are. It's not right. Okay. Yeah, it's a word that, you know, we understand that has tormented the generations of African Americans for centuries. But yet in every seem like every other rap song, it's been played by by a black person or a black rapper group or whatever the case may be. But nobody else is allowed to use it unless you Eminem, I guess. You see what I'm saying? It's just culture picks who and when and where that word can be used, and it's not right. But in this situation, this young man should have not even aired it. If you're going to sing a song that has that word in it, do it in your own privacy, your own home, where nobody can hear you. You're just doing it on your own. Don't make the world have to hear it because that's not right. You're not bringing yourself any credibility, and you're not bringing credibility to the school that's you have a scholarship for. So I think that's where he's wrong on that part. So yeah, pull the scholarship.
So looking at his stats, he is the number one quarterback for the class of 2023. His first pick was Florida. Penn State was looking at him. Florida Atlantic, Georgia Southern, Georgia State. Um, if Florida's not taking him, I wonder know if Coach Franklin is going to entertain himself and recruiting him to Penn State. But is I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe the Georgia Southern, Georgia State, one of those weak colleges. All right, the regular FBS teams probably will pick him up. But he's also from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. So Nice High School. So I guess
Punta
that's
Verde.
how they rule over there. Is that's the community over there, or you tell me you're from Florida. What type of town is that over there?
Dude, let me see where that is on the
If
Florida
you don't
map
know about
because
that town, then you know then he shouldn't be dropping them words.
I'm going to tell you where that is right now.
It's
And
probably the next town over, man. You don't even know.
and it's a suburb of Jacksonville. He shouldn't really be using those words. He's on the east coast of Florida.
Oh man, he's a what's he
Like
call it?
he's
Uh that's by
he's
the
east
waters,
side.
man.
Yeah,
He's from the east side
he's
now.
from the east side.
He's not east side, man. That's the peninsula over there. Get out of here.
He's from the
This
Yeah,
Atlantic.
guy's a
he's
surfer, bro.
Yeah,
This guy's a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, and look, I mean, he probably lives next to Winn Dixie. That's probably like the only one there. Look at that. Those of you that know, Winn Dixie is a grocery store that's famous down south.
Publix too. Yeah, I don't think he I don't think he's hood like that.
Yeah. Mm,
You
your neck
know?
of the woods. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. All right,
Yeah,
now I
no,
can
no.
understand better. I can understand. Like I said, man, dude, you're barely 18 or probably is 18 years old, and you're acting like that. That's just not good business,
Yeah.
man. You have a reputation. You know, somebody offering you a scholarship. You're supposed to conduct yourself at all times. Be who you are. Stop pretending you being someone else. And if you're talented enough to play the game right. That's all. That just shows me that if 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 he was to go to Florida and have that attitude, he'll be like one of these other quarterbacks that just think that they could show off and everything else. So that's good for him. He'll land himself in a school and he'll play football. And then 5-6 years from now, we'll hear the same story. Hey, this is the guy that made it to the NFL, but who didn't get picked in Florida. And then he's gonna be like, yeah, I went and I found myself and everything else. So I know the
Yeah,
politic answers. I got it.
definitely. So speaking politics, I mean you just went into this one perfectly. The political answer, right? So politics was really played here. All right. What are your thoughts on this trade-off, right? We have Brittney Griner. She was what? She was dealt with Victor, what was his name? Darn it.
They
I
made a
had it.
trade.
Yeah, they made
That's
a
what they
trade
did.
for
They
Victor
thought
Ball.
they were in the NFL draft trying to get the number one pick. So they say, you know what, let's draft you. Okay. Well, we'll do a little switcheroo, see if we value this pick. Um, look, first and foremost, I'm gonna tell you like this. Um, I wasn't big on the news about this because of the fact that if you're going to another country, for one, you know, you're supposed to act right. So we're going back to what we said on the first guy, that little kid, right? Saying the N word. Let's talk about traveling. Why are you traveling with paraphernalia? You know,
Mhm.
why? Why would you do that? You're going to another country. Why are you going to expose yourself like that? You know what I mean? You got to go through customs. You got to go through all that. You know, we all been through this before. Coming back to the United States, we got to go through customs. They tell you ahead of time, don't have this, don't have that. They got a laundry list of stuff that you're not supposed to travel with, right? But yeah, you try to test the waters. Okay. If you're not supposed to have it, if it's illegal, then don't have it. That just tells me that if you're doing something overseas, you've been doing it all the time here in the United States, and you've been passing the drug test when you're supposed to be failing it. That's what it tells me. Okay. But you went ahead and traded for some guy that was responsible for like some secret stuff and yada yada that has nothing to do with the game of basketball. Man, we got some issues. We got some issues higher up. We got some priorities because at the same time you hear it on the news that there's guys that Russians have that could have come home and they're still stuck over there. But you'd rather
Yeah.
get a basketball player. That's a
Yeah.
big problem.
I mean, Paul Wheelan, he's still over there,
Mhm.
but yet
That's the point I'm trying to make.
they bring Brittney Griner home.
You
Honestly, you do the crime in that country, you do the time. Plain and simple.
Hey, and
look,
this ain't the United States. This is not where, you know, I know our judicial system don't please. I mean, for some people it's good, for some people it's bad, but other countries, you know, now I don't even know what this guy's done. I don't know what the real reason, okay? Because you want to hear the news of what is being reported. But what is the real deal is what I like to know. And we're not going to get the truth out of that. But he is a Marine. But what type of Marine is it? Was he serving honorably or did he serve himself to be dishonorable? That's
no,
the difference there.
well, no, he served honorably. He when he was in Russia, he was working with some stuff in security. He was already out of the military when he
Okay.
got busted over there. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, he's accused of spying on the Russians.
Because wasn't he dubbed the Merchant of Death?
Uh,
I think that was I think that was the nickname.
William was arrested in Moscow. I don't think he was.
The Merchant of Death was Victor Bout.
That was Victor.
Okay,
You're right.
Victor.
He was a Russian dealer. And is that the guy that they traded off?
Yes.
Yeah, for Brittney, yeah.
For basketball, for weapons. Got it. Oh, that's why. Damn it.
So no, so
Okay.
Wheelan was convicted for what? Espionage.
Espionage.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but basketball is more important though.
Oh yeah.
Well,
real.
you know what?
And this is the same chick that, if I'm not mistaken, was bad mouthing about the United States.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
did we mention how she has been?
Those were her own words.
But she's also been in the news for abuse in her marriage.
Yeah. Oh no, but the wife. No.
Yeah.
That's something different. It's different now. Yeah.
It's a different wife.
A different wife. How many wives does she have?
I don't know, man.
Oh man.
You know, when I first heard this story, when it first happened, and I've always said it, hey, look, she was over there. You're not stupid. You know what you take in your bag. Oh, I didn't know it was in my bag.
That's like going to the airport and be like, "Oh, I forgot to put my gun away. I didn't know it was in my bag, dude."
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know I put that in
my
there.
bag. Hey, you can you mail it back for me? No, get out of here, man.
Yeah, I mean that number one is just crazy. I mean, you know what you put, and then when I first heard this, I was about this close to coming on my show and start screaming and yelling at this government because I was so pissed off because I'm like, how are you gonna, not deal with, not try to get Paul Whealan out first? He's been there longer. And he's one that fought for this country. Look, Lewis says it's right. You have to be an idiot to try that in Russia. Number one, my opinion, you got to be an idiot to go to Russia. Okay? My opinion. I mean, because it's like, come on. You already know the craziness is going on over there. You're safer going to Cuba than what you are Russia.
Sure about that? I thought they're both the same.
Suspect.
No.
Suspect. I mean, you're talking about a guy that stole my flag, but it's okay. No. No, I mean, no, you got a point there. Look, bottom line is that I think first of all, we're not supposed to fold to our enemies, and I feel like we've done that. And I don't know if they were trying to play 2 for 1 or try to truce it, but I hate to say this, but if President Trump was still in office, that would never happen. It just wouldn't not happen.
It wouldn't happen.
Okay. I don't think any other previous president, maybe Obama. I don't know because Obama and Biden, they're together. But I just feel like this is a negotiation that should have never happened. We don't trade. We don't give up stuff like that. We don't negotiate with our enemies. And unless we didn't get anything valuable back, we didn't benefit from this. Okay. And that's the downfall. And those who did that serve, that we never negotiate. When shit hit the fan, we deal with our cards and we continue to problem solve, but we never negotiate. And it's sad to say that had to happen. But
and it doesn't send a good sign to us as a country to other countries, because it's just telling our people that we can go to another country like Russia, do whatever we want as celebrities or sports athletes, and we'll be bailed out of it. This, I'm sorry, but Brittney Griner should have been made an example of for all celebrities, for all sports athletes. You just can't do what you want to do. It's not fair to Wheelan. It's not fair to anybody else. You do it. You go there. You do it. I'm sorry. I mean,
and the only thing, something else that I just thought about is like they thought that having her as imprisoned by purpose, supposedly, that it had some effects about the war. It had nothing to do with the war. Ukraine and Russia were going to go at war no matter what. And when that thing started kicking off, that's when she got arrested. You see what I'm saying? Now, I would assume that maybe somebody planted something in her bag. That's what I thought. But when she went out and admitted, I'm like, well, you just a big dummy because you're not supposed to have that in the first place. So I don't have no sympathy for her. I don't.
None.
But her coming back, I hope it's a wake-up call. You know, and I bet you she won't fly again.
I hope not.
If she's gonna fly, she better fly Spirit to get some of that spirit in her.
Oh man, there you go.
Oh gosh,
the worst airline in the United States.
Oh, I know by experience.
Frontier. Well, speaking of airlines,
yo, Spirit Band, they be charging you for every little item that you bring on the plane, and they don't even feed you.
They'll cancel you without you even having to know about it, and leave you in the airport stranded while your family's already back in town.
Frontier did that to me. Frontier did that
really?
to me. Yes.
Spirit did it to me.
Remember when I was supposed to go up to Connecticut? They canceled
Yeah,
my
you're supposed to visit us, and then you was like, "No, I'm still home. Let's do a podcast."
I did a podcast, all right. I went, woo! You know.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to head towards Rhode Island, right?
Correct. I was going to fly into Rhode Island,
which is only an hour away from here.
Right. I was going to drive to you guys, or to you, or Joe, whichever of the two.
Well, he lives like 20 minutes away from me.
Yeah, and I was supposed to do the show in his studio.
Yeah.
You know, and well,
I actually hooked it up better now, but yeah.
I did it in my studio. I hope.
Yeah, we see your studio right now. It's drowning with that jersey on that bed.
What can I do there? It has to stay there.
That's gonna be the point spread this weekend.
34-point beatdown. That's what they're gonna get.
You know,
that's Miami's gonna beat so hard, man. I mean, take it from the Monday night game when Georgia put on TCU. That's exactly what's gonna happen when the Bills handle the Dolphins up there in upstate New York.
They're gonna get beat so bad they're gonna call Ricky Williams.
The Dolphins are gonna freeze to death. I can't say that. I'm sorry. They're gonna freeze.
They're gonna call Ricky Williams anymore. Hey Ricky, you got some of that stuff, some of that stash? We're gonna need some.
Please come warm us up.
So check this out. Now that you're on that topic, if you don't mind, Frank, here in the state of Connecticut, as of yesterday, Tuesday, January 10th was the first day that was legalized the sale of cannabis. So now they have different places where it's legal to sell. And first day, they made over $250,000. Pretty cool for it. Now, they're projecting within 4 or 5 years from now that the sales, they're going to be profiting over millions of dollars. So this supposedly help the cost of living here in the state of Connecticut. So we'll see what happens. But there's always that one guy or one politician that's going to change it all, and someone's going to pocket that money. So we'll see, man. But so far, everyone's happy. But my concern is that you're selling those. There's got to be a warning sign, man, because here in the state of Connecticut, we've been dealing with a lot of wrong way driving. Okay. There's been a lot of unnecessary accidents and stuff like that. That one time is implementing drive zero type thing. And it's just been too many accidents, whether it's cell phone use or other type of distractions. Pedestrians trying to cross the street, they're getting killed. People not stopping where it is, and then it's not that, it's just speeding. And here in the state of Connecticut, we're a small state. We're the 5th smallest state, and like every day there's been a tragedy. So that's what we're dealing with. And now you're adding this cannabis stuff. You know, when you're smoking, ladies and gentlemen, that's also a DUI if you take the wheel. So it's not just alcohol, it's the influence of any substance abuse that you have in your body. So please, if you're smoking, stay at home.
Well, it's the same thing here in Texas. They just recently upped the THC limit from 0.5 to 1%. So here in Texas.
What do you mean 1%? As that's how much you can have in your body?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't smoke it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I stay safe.
Yeah,
I don't think I need a medicine for that. Yeah. But
Look,
Frank, on the other hand, yeah, well, let me tell you something.
look, the fact that they made it legal, I think we all know, and it's gonna happen to everybody if it hasn't happened by now, but you're always gonna know somebody that smokes.
Yeah, of
Somebody in
course,
your circle, one of your friends or one or the other is always gonna smoke.
bro.
All right.
Just go to Walmart, go to the toy section. I smell it all the time,
All
bro.
right. So is it gonna make your economy better in Connecticut? I don't know. Ask California, ask Colorado.
Yeah. Well,
They've done a lot
Colorado
more.
and Washington were the first two states to legalize it. So,
Okay.
but we haven't heard any issues on those two states.
I don't have a problem with it being legal. But you have to control it somewhat. Like
Absolutely.
I can tell you that here in Florida, for medical, you have your medical card, you can
Hmm.
smoke it, you could have it, but you could only have X amount.
Same here.
Okay, and realistically, what you're getting rid of now is your pot dealers. Okay, you're not gonna get rid of the smokers, but you're getting rid of your dealers. That is in essence what they're doing. And that's the way I see it, because the stores that are selling it at X amount, Joe Blow's that are selling it probably cheaper than the store. But if you get caught buying from Joe Blow, you get in trouble. Go to the store, you buy it. Hey, look, here's my receipt. You know.
Hmm.
So again, it's all about how you do it.
Yeah, the
And
streets
what
are
you
always
do.
going to be smart, man. They're always going to combat that stuff. So they have a backup plan
I'm sure there
somehow,
is.
some way. Something else is going to happen. But
But either
also the
way,
deal is here in this state is those that got pinched for having, cannabis, weed and stuff like that, that their records might be expunged and they could go back living their regular lives like they've never been convicted.
wait. Look at everybody that's been in jail now for carrying weed across borders. Release them. Release them. Goes back to our other topic, but I just remembered that. I'm like, wait a minute. She got out. Release them. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
you know? So, it's one of
If
those.
if Griner can make it, anybody can make it.
I completely agree.
Yeah. What else you
So,
got, man?
all right. One last thing here. Virginia.
Oh man, that's a sad story, man. Sad story.
Yeah, Virginia. I'm not sure what it is, man, but Virginia's always in the news, and there's always a shooting in Virginia. In this case, you have a 6-year-old student that shoots a teacher. Luckily, the teacher survived. If I'm correct, yes, the teacher survived. But what the hell's going on? How the hell are you going to have a 6-year-old get a gun?
So the story was that he took the gun from the mom,
Right.
got into the school. There was a dispute or something like that, and then he took the handgun and shot the teacher. But the I won't say it's good news, but what was heroic is that the teacher, still wounded in action, was able to take her students out of the classroom, make sure that they were their safety, and then got help and stuff like that. And that takes a lot. And again, as they said that she got shot by the chest.
She
Don't
did
know
something
the
like this. That's
okay.
She got hit in the hand, and I
Oh,
guess a bullet went through her hand. But either way, she still
right.
got hit.
Hmm.
Whichever way you
So,
look at
but
it.
she was able to persevere and make things happen. Most people, they see that, they get into shock, they fall down, whatever. But she was able to still get a grip, do her thing, and then finally, when she got help, the rest came in to detain the kid. But that mental health of that child, it, I can't. It's unexplainable. Me as an educator myself, I find that very. I don't know. I don't know. I just in the mornings, when students come in, I it's always meet and greet. Okay, and there's always a routine. Go to your locker first, put your stuff away, come in, get your stuff ready for the day, and you're always observing to make sure they're following routine. You know, no hangouts. We don't gotta hang out in the lockers. There's nothing good hanging out in the lockers. Go in, handle your business. We're ready to work. You know, we got time to relax. We got time to joke around, but we come for business. You know, so I don't know what the setting is in that school, but still, it's a tragic that a kid walking in with a gun, right? 6 years old as an elementary school. Of all that, an elementary school.
Dude, the
That's
kid has to be
it's
in first
unheard
or
of for
second
me.
grade. The kid has to
And
be in first or second grade.
Correct. You're absolutely correct.
you know, and it doesn't sound like the mom did a good job about hiding this pistol.
Right.
Seriously.
So I don't know about your laws, but here and well in Texas, it's the same thing. You know, you gotta have a place where you supposed to lock your weapon, man. You're supposed to have a case or what's that? A safe, excuse me.
Safe. Yeah.
I have a safe and everything. You know, when you're traveling in the car, you know, there's certain requirements and stuff that if you're going to carry. But that kid, like here, the parents will automatically get arrested. I don't know what's going on in Virginia. I haven't heard any news about it. I know it's still under investigation, but the parents should be at fault automatically. The mom should get arrested.
Automatically. I mean, I know that in the state of Florida is, and it's you're supposed to. The parent's supposed to get charged. I mean, I haven't seen it happen, but that's what the law states. You know, if the child picks up your gun, shoots somebody, the parent is liable. So obviously, the minor child is gonna have repercussions, but not at 6 years old. There's no law for the 6 year old because you can't put him in jail with adults. You know,
Right. So right now he is detained. He is
correct.
in a medical facility. He's not in prison. But more news on that is the Virginia law prohibits leaving a loaded gun where it's accessible to children under 14, a crime that is punishable as a misdemeanor. But unlike some other states, such as Oregon and Massachusetts, there is not a broad law that requires all guns to be safely stored in homes. Okay. Maybe the mom had it in her purse and she walks everywhere with her purse. You
Locked
know,
and loaded.
hey, I don't know the neighborhood. I don't know. You know, we don't know, and I can't judge for something like that. You know what I mean? I can't judge that. But what I can say is that should better take care of that. You're supposed to secure it no matter what. Keep it away from children.
That 6-year-old to me should have had no knowledge of that gun. Period. She
You
made it
know,
known.
you wanna know what happens nowadays though? There's too many of these toy guns. Okay, there's too much violence that a child can see on this. Okay, and kids don't know what's right, what's wrong when it's not taught correctly.
I
Yeah.
believe you. Totally believe
Okay,
you.
as a matter of fact, and I think it's here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go show you something. Hold on a minute. Just keep on
So when you
talking.
carry on trying, right? Uh, it just comes down to like a lot of elementary kids. You know,
Yeah.
you talk about ages 5 through 11, right? And they're so overwhelmed with TikTok. Before it was
Mhm.
YouTube. Now you got TikTok. You got
Yep.
all these other apps. Then you want everyone wants Instagram.
Yep.
Everyone got accounts. So again, it's almost like where's the accountability of the parents?
Right.
You know, allowing their kids to watch all these stuff.
Right.
You
I mean,
know,
because it's totally different from when we grew up because we played with water guns and things like that, but we didn't go out and start shooting up schools and stuff like that.
Going
no. And
going
then you
back.
talk about. I'm glad you mentioned it before. I can see your rifle, but this is a hot topic because you know I just had this conversation earlier about how things were when we were little in school. You know, bullying was a thing that you could see it happen. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And there are times when teachers intervene, and sometimes they didn't. You know, it's almost like you got to man up. And then now it's like you're in the generation that people are timid. Everything has to be resolved with violence. guns,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. No one's able to stand up and defend themselves using their words. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Everyone's hiding behind a monitor. Everyone wants to be brave to do whatever on the devices. That's the world we live in. And it's been like that for like the past 10 years, really, or even a little bit longer. People are hiding instead of confronting the problem face to face. And that's what we have. But what fortunate about this kid, who knows what he's watching at home? Is he being parented? You know, it seems to me that he's not. I'm making assumptions. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it could be, she could be probably the mom of the year, and again, you know, a situation arises that he found it, he got mad, he was like, I'm just gonna use it, and not know what the consequences were.
But look, I'm going to give you examples. This right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This shoots water pellets. My son wanted to paint this all black. I told him, you're out of your mind.
Mm-mm.
Because how well does this look like an M4? Completely. There's
You make that all black, you about to get shot. And that happened in Cleveland, Ohio, years ago when the kid was playing around during the pandemic. Kid was running around with a gun, a toy gun, but when the cop sees it from far away, that doesn't mean that they're gonna be like, oh, that's just a toy. No,
Of course not.
you know, it's not gonna happen.
But again, you know what? It all boils back to parenting, though. Because
Mhm.
I'll tell you, my son grabs this and he's always like this. His finger's not on the trigger, and this is a toy gun. Why? I've always taught him, hey, your finger doesn't go on the trigger. My little one hasn't gone shooting, but I teach him, like with that, hey, no, this is how you hold it. This is how you grab it. Because I'm going to take him to the gun range. Took my oldest when he was 7 years old. And he's always learned how guns operate. When you teach him, you take the curiosity away. You know? But at the end of the day, these kids, you know, don't know. And you can't have it accessible. You know, look, Lewis agrees with me. Education is important with firearms. Of course it is. You know, I mean, it's just one of those you have to teach them young. You know?
Absolutely. You got to change. And again, man, I don't like putting excuses or anything like that. We don't know what the real circumstances is, but I hope that teacher survived. Well, she should be surviving. I didn't hear anything that that she was in her life and death, you know, stuff like that. But I just hope that she could recuperate, that she's able to get back in the classroom and teach still, you know, because that is a traumatic event. You know what I mean? And then for that kid, I hope he gets all the treatment that he needs, you know, but someone is going to be held responsible. And we've never, ever, ever in our lives or anything in history ever seen a 6-year-old get treated like an adult.
I don't think that's
the brain is not developed yet at that age.
Definitely not. I don't foresee that happening. I think the parent might get charged for something, you know, but that's a story that we'll have to see as it unfolds.
Absolutely.
You know? But
I mean, the teacher did get lucky, you know, to survive. I mean, getting shot by a 9mm Taurus pistol, you know, by someone who doesn't know exactly what they're doing. You know, because a 9mm may be small, but it's very powerful, especially shooting at close range.
Well, it had to be close range, man, because you know it's not like the child went to the range and started practicing on his own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, low crawling up and high crawling. Yeah, exactly.
Chill on the knee. No,
in the prone.
Oh hell!
With the gas mask on.
Hold on for a second.
Turning sideways.
Hot up in here.
That's what Nelly said.
Good Lord.
That's what Nelly said. It's getting.
You know, I didn't hear you. You're probably talking smack right now. I know you guys. So we used to teach these things in schools, swimming, guns, etc. Go tell a 9-year-old today how to use a fire extinguisher. Well, probably they don't even know how to carry a fire extinguisher because it's too heavy for them.
Do they even know the acronym for the fire extinguisher?
No. Probably. Kids have so much
Right.
education in their hands and know nothing. LOL. Ah, again, sometimes education doesn't really have to be in the school. It has to be at home. Getting parenting and knowing the norms and knowing what's right and wrong and stuff like that, taking the time to communicate with their children. And even myself with children, I'm still improving. There's no perfect parent and stuff like that, but you're always on top of things. You're always ahead of things. And again, I mean, I can't speak for that parent or whatever, because again, maybe she did hide it or whatever it is, and unknowingly that the child knew where she keeps the weapon. You know what I mean? Because kids run around the house, around the home, and then all of a sudden he's gonna just take it. We don't know the whole entire truth, and I don't want to put blame, but at the end of the day, if that is the register and it's legally registered, you have a responsibility. That means you did not secure the weapon, and you should be charged for negligence. I'm sorry. And
I
it is what
completely.
it is. If I in the army, that if we lose the weapon, that's
You're
our
done.
ass. You know what I mean? So that's an automatic punitive action and everything else. No, man. It just, again, that's a responsibility. And that when you went to get yourself a permit, you knew when you were purchasing a gun, they always remind you all that stuff. So I don't really have any sympathy on that when it comes to gun owners, because you should know right. That's all it is. But I just feel sorry for that kid and for that teacher and everyone else that was a witness to the shooting.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. That's not always good. But hey, guys, I do want to tell you thank you for coming on. The show went better than what I expected.
Oh man, we got your
You
back,
know,
We
man.
got you, bro. We got you.
oh man, you see, I mean, we could continue talking if you want. You
We
just
could
got.
continue talking.
I
Let's talk
mean,
about your Dolphins. They're gonna
We could
lose
talk
again.
about Andre the Giant. I mean, we can
Yeah,
talk about
your
whatever you
favorite,
want.
your
This
favorite
is
superstar,
this
Andre
is
the
your
Giant.
show. This is your
It's
show.
yours. You're speaking of real, baby.
you guys are bad. So I think, did I have anything else? So I think we had the
Oh,
time.
we got plenty.
Oh yeah, what do we got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? You know, no, but the
Nah,
teacher.
man, this is your show, man. You're
No,
running
I
the
know. I
show. You're
had.
doing a fabulous job. I'm proud of you. I mean, look, you come a long way. I'm gonna be real with you. Speaking of real, like, oh, this is your show. I'm glad that I was able to give you your first introduction, the video clip. It's
Yes.
been what, 2 years now that you've had this show?
This is the. I'm going on the third year right now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I remember you started. And the funny part is, those of you that don't know, Frank, Hector, and myself, we all known each other from the military for over 20 years. I started the podcasting in 2019. And when I started my wrestling podcast, the first two people in mind was, I got to get Hector and Frank, because I know they watched WWE. And
And
when I
how
started the show, we was in the studio.
you was in the
And
studio?
I
You
was
was in
well,
the
I was
studio.
in stuff because I had other crews. I had other, and I used to have Hector and Frank call in,
We were calling
and
it
then
like
they'll be part of the show because they were like my analytics, my and my analysts, or stuff like that. Like their opinions really matter, made sense to these storylines.
let's make
Then
a
the
phone call.
pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, it was like, what we gonna do? And then with my team, with CMG Sports, well, back then was Clovercrest Media, I discovered StreamYard, and trying to get all the information. It's like, dude, this has got to be the best part. Now, my original team that I had, gone, right? Because they didn't, one, they didn't have patience. They want to be already up here already. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. Got my Hector, got Frank, and then the rest fell in place. And to see you had that urge and desire to start your own show, this is pretty. And you're right, you're going on 3 years. I forgot 2020, and you're
Yeah.
doing a fabulous job. I
Thanks.
laughed my ass off on your first episode because the fact that I did the same thing. We don't know what we're doing. We just go in there, we start talking, we forget how to do an introduction. we forget do this, do that, and no schooling whatsoever for the both of you. And yeah, y'all run it like y'all a bunch of veterans, just doing it up. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Well,
And
definitely
look,
to you, Frank, because we joke around a lot, and stuff on a wrestling podcast. But I gotta tell you right here live that I love listening to you on this show because you are so knowledgeable about your current events, things that I don't even think about, keeping up with. And it just keep me informed when you come on with this, and I like it. I really do. And I really do appreciate you. You know, I know we all could be a dun sometimes, but that's between us. That's just between us when we do our funny things. But seriously, you are so knowledgeable on what you talk about, and I like listening to you a lot.
thanks.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. It's obviously I have Carlos. Carlos was the pushing force of the show in the sense of him and I just not agreeing, on our topics. And he was like, "Wait a minute, you do podcasts?" I was like, "Yeah, I do a wrestling podcast. I've been thinking of doing my own because I think before I even started, I was already talking to Ovi about trying to do one, but I wasn't real clear what direction I wanted to go. And then when Carlos and I spoke, it was like, "Hey, Ovi, this is what I want to do. Where do I go starting it? I don't know what name I'm gonna put or how I'm gonna do it, but I gotta do it." And funny enough, it just hit me that today marks, I believe, exactly 3 years that I started. Because we're January
Congratulations.
11th, and I started.
Yeah.
I believe it was January 10th. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look for it right now, but I think that's when it was. But going back to that, it was Carlos and I were just back and forth, and I remember, here we go. I had spoke to Ovi. I'm like, "Hey, this is what I do," and I came up with the name instantly, and I don't even know if I had much of an intro or what
You
I had.
didn't. You didn't have an intro.
I didn't have
I had to
crap.
do you. I told you from the get-go, I'm gonna build you one, and then whatever you come up after that, that's on you. But you needed something. You needed an attraction. I was like, I can't let my boy like this, man. And you
No,
know how
yeah,
I am. I'm like, I change in underwears like I change intros.
no, definitely. No, you definitely
You
do.
guys know. Every time I had an introduction, look, next season I got a brand new one. Check this out. I remember it was so ridiculous having my logo spin and then the fire and blah, blah. I was like, man, get out of here. If
Yeah, you
if
gotta
y'all would
start
have seen my
somewhere.
original, I had soldiers marching and everything else. And then somebody told me, it was like, this is a wrestling podcast. Why you got soldiers? So I'm like, damn it, I gotta take it out. Take it
Yeah.
down, man.
You gotta
But
start somewhere. So yeah,
yeah,
Oh no,
it only gets
definitely.
better from there.
I'm gonna tell you that I think this does mark 3 years because you see, I went far back into my notes of my shows and go look how I did it. Is the first whole year I didn't put any dates until the
but you got timestamps when you upload a video or when you go live.
no,
There's
yeah,
always dates.
yeah. I just have to go back into the
Now, do
history.
you have your own YouTube channel or you just use Facebook?
No, I have YouTube also, so
Okay.
it's on YouTube. Will be there.
Speaking it real.
Yeah, you should know. You follow it, don't you?
Yeah, somehow I can't see it where it is.
He's
I got,
suspect.
Oh, I got too many accounts, man. Hold on for a second. There we go.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you say about, it should tell you the date. Yeah, I know.
We're still speaking it real.
Hold on, I got to scroll out.
We're holding on. Hold on to your seat.
You got a scroll or you got a squirrel. Do the squirrel. Let me see.
Let me see you squirrel. Hey, that's a song. Those of
It
you that
is.
don't know in the mid 90s, let me
You
see
know,
you squirrel.
I don't think I had my first show on YouTube. I don't remember.
So right now it said in YouTube you was there joining January 11th, 2021.
That is 2 years ago.
Right. Absolutely. Now you could have done it on Facebook first. That's why they look at Facebook. That you did that one first. And then you had opened up your YouTube
No,
channel.
no, you know
So
what? So Yeah, no, I'm good because January 21st. I mean, 2021 1 year, 2022 is the second year. This is the 2023 the
So
third
you're
year.
on 2 years.
Yeah, no, I'm going on my third now.
You
This
just
is year
completed 2
three.
years. Yeah,
I
year
just
3 for
did
you. Yeah.
right. This is year three.
You didn't complete the year 3 yet, but you're on year 3.
I'm on year three,
That's
and
right.
funny enough, exactly a year.
Today. Happy
Exactly
birthday.
2 years. Yep. Happy birthday. Speaking of
Happy
real.
birthday to Speaking of Real.
Woo-hoo.
Brought to you by CMG Sports Podcast Network.
But like I said, for me to do a show, and I know Carlos has had a lot of stuff going on and stuff, so it's been hard to connect with him.
Mhm.
And as him and I were the first year we're doing the show, I was like, all right, let me venture off on my own. Just me, and it was going good. And then I'm not sure what happened. I stopped doing my own shows. It
Mm.
was just with him. And then every
Mhm.
time I'm like, all right, I want to get back into it. I want to do my show. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's just one thing after another leads. And I'm like, I don't want to do a show by myself. I don't
It's
like
kind of
doing
hard
it.
when you do it by yourself.
It is hard.
But
It's
you can
hard.
also do short clips and stuff like that on your own.
It is. It
Mhm.
is. By the way, January 2nd, I think was when I was supposed to go to Connecticut
Mm.
because I see a video clip of me having a drink here, and I think that was the rough
Well,
time.
we don't want to talk about your
Mm.
drinks because
No, we're not going to do that, sir.
Because all of a sudden, when somebody's drinking, I'm being missed a lot. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
Hey,
So it's
being
look.
like,
Hey, I'll tell you something though. That night has become very infamous
yeah,
around
I'm
my
sure it
household.
is.
I'm glad he said infamous and not intimate.
No, no. It's become
The bad
infamous in
part
my
is that I still
household.
got video footage of him because we went live. It was a post reaction on a pay per view event, and he still kept asking for Hector. And I'm like, damn, bro. And I was like, he had a lot to drink, but it's okay. It's okay.
I drank a whole
He
bottle
had
of
a lot of fun
Coke.
that night.
That's all that
Forgot
matters.
I forgot which pay per view it was. I'm gonna have to like go back to the library. Find that video.
It was in the
It's
summer
all,
at some point. It was a
sure.
summer one.
Yep.
Was it SummerSlam?
Summertime.
Son, yeah.
I
There we
think it was
go.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was 80 degrees.
Oh man, no guys. No,
All
no, no.
right, Frank. New year, new you. I got you, baby.
I know.
No, I don't do that New Year
No,
New
not
shit.
right now. Right now.
Well, I'm just saying that's what your thing says. Year 3,
Well,
show
yeah,
1. Right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Show
New
one.
Year, New
New
You.
year, new you.
Question: Is it? Is it? Was it a new year, a new you, or is it the same you?
It's a new year. You're the same person. You're just more knowledgeable. Maybe.
Sometimes.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Pipe bomb.
Yeah, pipe bomb it is.
So are you really this show, are you gonna talk more about politics?
I think every now and then we'll hit politics, but
Mm.
the show's been mainly a lot more of social issues. What's going on in your mind, mental. You
You know what's
know
going on my mind is
what?
that if you're trying to win a position, yet nobody wants you to be there, but you keep trying to influence others to like vote for you to be in that position, but people still can't stand you, and yet you still win. There's a problem.
Well, that's why I voted for Pedro.
For Pedro.
He,
I
he
Napoleon Dynamite. So, this McCarthy fella that is the House Speaker of the House, like had,
boy.
Oh, the shit show.
yeah, like how you spend like 3 or 4 days and not finding who's gonna be the speaker, and yeah, it's still the same guy, you know, and I'm like, well, you have to like lower yourself to get elected in. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a real problem.
Well,
And thankfully enough that we lived on checks and balances. So like anything that happened in the House, goes to the Senate and then vice versa. So like there's gonna be a lot of stonewalling when it comes to passing bills, which is really sad because when the situation arises like that, the people that work in the government is the one suffering because when you have and that's happened to me a couple of times where they shut down the government, right? And those shutdowns, people that work in government, they don't get paid, you know, and we're the one that suffers, but the politicians still get paid. Ain't that some shit?
that's garbage.
And then I remember one time when I was serving, I didn't get a paycheck for that whole entire month. I got my back pay later down the road, but they were getting paid. And then they got a pay raise when they figured it out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You get a pay raise, and yeah, you couldn't get the job done. You gotta, everything's closed, and now everything reopens, and you got a pay raise. It just didn't make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it. Not only do they get paid, they get a raise. Exactly, Lewis.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, and I think this is what's gonna happen in the next couple of years. So the House gets voted in every 2 years. So we'll see what happens there, man. But I
Isn't
just
it the
feel
rich
like
get richer and the poor gets poorer?
exactly that's what it is.
Still the same mantra, right?
And the middle class still helps out the poor. So
You know
it- it's
what I
it's
don't.
been like that since this country's been established. But you could take it back even further because the reason why we took this land is because they wanted more opportunities, right?
There's a song in that. This land
Yeah.
is my land.
This land is your land. From
I just felt like doing that to him. I've never been able to do that to him.
See, this is your show, so you could do that.
yeah,
That's a motherfucker, isn't
but I didn't start it. That guy did.
Hey, Frank, he's starting a new thing a new trend this year. Everything we say turns into a song all of a sudden.
Hey man, it's remix.
So we're gonna go to HHW show the musical. Speaking it real, the
Hey,
musical.
there you go. We could do this. Karaoke? No?
God.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I don't do karaoke.
Oh yeah, you do.
Get that bottle, you will.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, he does. That dude will speak proper English.
What?
There's no accent. You can't even tell he was Cuban.
I'll be singing a song for Hector probably. Where's Hector? Hector!
Oh my gosh!
Oh man.
But yeah. Damn, it's been a while.
That's what she
It's been
said.
a while. You see?
Damn. Oh man.
Well,
Hey,
guys.
so one more thing before I let you go.
Uh-huh.
Before we leave. All right. Can we talk about a little bit about baseball? Do you agree with contracts over $300 million for players to play for 10, 15 years? I mean, for real. I mean, you're an athlete, you're 20 something years old. How could you maintain? Not everybody could be an NFL Tom Brady.
Right.
Okay. And then you got a guy like Correa who was supposed to get a contract for the Giants, didn't work out. The Mets grabbed that contract. Then that didn't work out because of his physical. And now there are reports that he's going back to the Minnesota Twins. Crazy how does that sound? But you were once a player when you were 25. You got a contract 10, 12 years later, getting paid over $30 million a year. You're just not going to be the same person. You think that's in my opinion. You think that it's worth putting out a contract like that, or should be contracts be shorter?
Number one, the contract needs to be shorter. Because I think when you put a contract out for 10 years, yeah, you know what? It's only going to benefit the player. Because it's not going to benefit the ball club. Because let's say within 3 years, the ball club's like, I don't want this guy. This guy's stinking up the team right now. To get him off your books, you got to trade him.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens if nobody wants him? Okay, you cut him, but guess what? You're still paying him. So who's it really benefiting? The player or the team? If I'm the owner of the team, I'm not gonna make a contract for 10 years. No, thank you. I'll give you a 2-3 year contract. After that, we could discuss something else. You want to discuss a 4 year? Okay, fine. Want to discuss another 3 years? Okay, fine. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because when you make those long contracts, it's not beneficial for anybody. Because let's say the player just doesn't want to be with the team anymore, but the team
Right.
doesn't want to let him
Get
go.
disgruntled, whatever. And I'm sure that's probably something that's been written in the contracts and stuff. But I'm reading this Correa guy, um, 13 years, $350 million. Okay. 350, and the original was 315 for 12 years. So
Mhm.
eventually, as of now, he passed the physical. But you talking about a guy that's always injured almost every year. His last couple of years with the Houston Astros, he's been hurt, right? Went to the Twins, didn't have a full season with the Twins, and he opted out his contract just to see if he could get richer. You know, the Giants could have used him, but they questioned about his physical, his physical. The Mets questioned him, and I'm saying to myself, if all these teams are questioning his health, I don't think I want to, sacrifice all that money. I could spend that money somewhere else. So I think, in my opinion, I think that's a bad investment, especially a team that doesn't even win any championships since the '90s, and they want to sign him. So that's just another story. But
No,
I would like to throw that out there.
no, I agree because you don't even see the military doing that. Oh, I'm going to enlist for 13 years.
Mm.
No,
If
no,
I'm not
it's all short
mistaken,
term.
Yeah,
right?
they'll find a way to kick you out so they get that money back.
Yeah,
That's true.
but I'll tell you what, they keep it realistic, okay? Because they're giving you an option. Hey, look, in 4 years, if you no longer want to be here, you don't have to be here, right? Or in 4 years, if we don't want you here anymore, get out.
Mm.
You know, hey, I'm not going to re-up you because you're a shitbag. You
Yeah.
know,
And then you are, who's to say you be in a situation where you like paying Bobby Bonilla for the rest of your life, or another team picking up the bill like Alex Rodriguez? It's like,
I'm glad you mentioned that because somebody else just pulled a Bobby Bonilla contract, and I forgot which team it is. But this guy's gonna get paid for the next 30 to 40 years for $1 million. I owe you that answer later. But
mhm.
that seems like the best way to handle your life, man.
Yes,
You
so
spend $1 million, you're gonna gain $1 million.
yeah,
well, look, just simple, man. In the NFL, right? You let go of a coach that's still under contract. Guess what? You're paying them.
Well,
Okay,
that's another thing.
and it
Yeah.
happens, but it happens in baseball too, though. When you let go of the manager and he's still under contract, he can sit down for 2 years because he's still going to get paid. And then if he goes ahead and he gets another job, guess what?
And that's
He
what happened
gets
in college football this year.
double.
The coach from Nebraska gets fired. And then they have to pay him nearly $14 million just to get fired. All
yeah,
right. So he's getting paid more than what he was when he was coaching. So Wisconsin's is the same thing. They fired their head coach. They got Fickle from Cincinnati to go over there. But once you fire these coaches, man, they're making more money. And that's a big problem, man, because you're saying like, look, you could mess up to get more money. That's bottom line. Man, and it's sad, man. It's sad. Instead of being accountable, right? You get richer. So that's the life. But
Yeah,
hey, Frank, I thank you, man. I thank you for letting us be on your show, bro. This is
dude.
awesome.
yeah. Appreciate it,
Yeah.
buddy.
I appreciate it.
Whenever you want, you can come knocking on the door. Just say knock, knock, knock. Let me in.
Yeah,
Come on
yeah.
in, and we'll do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. I mean,
I'll pull a WWE Bray Wyatt. Let me in.
that you could do.
Yeah.
That you could do. But hey, look, the one thing that we're gonna always do, whether it's Ovi, whether it's Hector, whether it's me, whoever wants to be on this show, we're always gonna bring it to you. Doesn't matter what it is, we're always gonna know what we're talking about, and we're gonna be speaking it real. Catch you guys next week.
Deuce.
I lost my closing.
Is that how you end your show, bro?
No, I just lost it. But you know what? Here we go. See you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Speaking with You is brought to you by Clovercrest Media. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcast. See you next week.